Okay. Good morning class. Welcome back to the another class. In our last class we have studied about the different definitions given by economists. Today we are going to study about economics and non-economic activities in the country. As we all know, we are doing many activities in our day-to-day life. But in the terms of economics, there are activities which are classified into two different categories. They are economic activity and non-economic activity. So first of all, what do you mean by economic activity? So here economic activity means when you are doing a work with the intention of getting money in return, that type of activity is known as economic activity. Whatever we are doing with the intention of money or earning any gain or profit, then that type of activity falls under economic activity. We can say that that activity is known as economic activity. On the other hand, non-economic activity, those activities which are only done for a purpose of helping others or without any intention of getting money, that activity is known as non-economic activity. Let's see one example of both type of activity. Economic activity, teacher is teaching in a classroom. The activity is known as economic activity. Why it is known as economic activity? Because teacher is teaching with the intention of getting salary in return of his service. So it is known as economic activity. On the other hand, you are helping a old grandma for crossing a road. So you are helping without having any intention of getting profit or any advantage. So you are helping for just sake of help. You are donating money in a orphanage or old age home. So you are doing with the intention of getting personal satisfaction or personal pleasure. So that type of activities are known as economic activity. So let's discuss the difference between economic activity and non-economic activity. So the first point is so the first difference between economic and non-economic is a meaning. First meaning. So what is the difference? As I already said, economic activities are those activities which are done with the intention of getting profit or in return we are getting money, then that type of activity falls under the economic activity. On the other hand, non-economic activities are those activities which are done only for the sake of helping others or getting internal pleasure. That type of activity is known as non-economic activity. So I am writing only here points. You can check out the definition or a meaning in a textbook. Economic activities done for money. Okay. The activities which are done for money is known as economic activity. Here the activities are carried out without the intention of getting money, or you can say no intention of getting money. The next point is second object. I am writing here points, meaning first. Second, what is the objective of these activities? Here the object is to get money, as I said already in the definition. Here the objective is to get money. Money is a basic objective. No basic objective of getting money in economic activity. The basic objective is to earn money. In non-economic activity, the basic objective is not to get money or not getting any financial benefit. And the second one is legality. Legal. Legal. Economic activities are legal in nature. Generally, economic activities are legal in nature. What do you mean by legal in nature? Legal in nature means here you have to work or you have to perform an activity by keeping in mind the rules and regulations laid by the organization or the area where you are doing work. On the other hand, here there is no such rules or regulations. In economic activity, you have to follow some rules, regulations to earn money, or you have to do a job by keeping in mind the rules and regulations of that company. For helping others, in non-economic activity, you are doing with your own intentions. You are doing voluntarily, so you don't have to follow any rules and regulations. So here there are no rules and regulations. Now, what is the supply? Here supply means what we get by doing economic activity. So a man is doing activity for getting needs fulfilled. We are doing work for getting our needs to be fulfilled. Without needs, you are not able or you are not motivated to do work. If you are having needs, you are willingly ready to do work. On the other hand, these activities, non-economic activities, are done only for internal satisfaction. Internal satisfaction or pleasure. For getting fulfill the needs of a individual, you are doing economic activity. We are doing job for what? For satisfying our needs. So it falls under economic activities. Internal satisfaction and pleasure. Here you are doing work or you are helping others for your internal satisfaction, your internal happiness. So it is the need of a person to get satisfied by doing help of other. So here are some points, you can note it down or you can check it out. Now let's see one example of each. a man is working in a company, he is earning 10,000 per month. So you can say that a person is doing job in a company for a sake of salary or money, so it falls under economic activity. Now the example of non-economic activity is you are attaining a marriage of your cousin and you are giving a gift. You are giving a gift. In return, you are not expecting anything. So you can say that it is a non-economic activity, as you are not expecting anything in return. These are the examples of economic and non-economic activity. I hope you all are clear. Now let's move towards the next point. Our next topic is micro and macroeconomics. So basically here micro and macro, what do you mean by a micro and macroeconomics? So as we all know that economics is a complicated subject to study. So there was one economist, named Ragnar Anton. Ragnar Anton, he is basically from Norway. What he has done, he has divided whole economic subject into two different parts, that is microeconomics and macroeconomics. In the year 1933, Ragnar Anton divided economics into microeconomics and macroeconomics. Okay, now what do you mean by micro? Here the word micro is derived from the Greek word. Micro is derived from the Greek word which means small, or you can say part of. And macro is also a word derived from Greek word. It means that macro means large. I am writing here, macro means large and micro means small. So we are discussing the difference between micro and macroeconomics as well as their meaning. So first of all, meaning. Microeconomics studies the individual unit of an economy. On the other hand, macroeconomy studies as an economy as a whole. Here microeconomics only studies about individual behavior, or you can say the behavior, or you can say the process of an individual unit or an individual person. For example, Mr. A, the behavior of Mr. A as well as the demand, needs, output, and function. Here in microeconomics, we only studied about the demand. What is the demand, or what is the demand of an individual? What are the needs of an individual? What is the output? How that particular man or particular individual is helpful to the economy? What is the output? What he is doing to help a nation in output, and its function. What is the role of it in an economy? On the other hand, macroeconomics. In a macroeconomics, we are studying a whole economy of a country. Let me give you one example. This is an economy, Indian economy. There are various industries. For example, we are taking an example of an industries. Now what happened? When we are talking about microeconomics, we are only focusing on one industry. We are talking about these industries. What is the production of that particular industry? What is the demand? What is the requirement of this industry to produce the goods? We are talking about only one industries. But when we are talking about a macroeconomics, then we are talking about the whole industries of all, from all the state and from all the countries, especially India. We are talking about whole economy. What are the demands of that particular industries? What are the requirements? What are the output? What are the we can say production of that country? So there are some variables. In microeconomics, there are generally two variables. They are demand and supply. In microeconomics, we are generally studying about demand and supply. Demand and supply of what? Demand and supply of goods, services in the market, because these two are the basic reasons to study microeconomics, because the whole market is dependent upon this demand and supply. For example, if the price of a potato is 25 rupees per kg, demand of a potato is 25 rupees per kg, then what will be the demand? There are more than 25 people are ready to buy or to purchase potatoes. On the other hand, suppose the demand suppose the price is 50 rupees per kg. Now the demand will be 10. Okay, what happened when the price is low? The persons or the individuals are more to purchase a potato. Now the demand is 50 rupees. The quantity of the demand is, the price is 50. The demand is 10. So these are depend on each other. Both the demand and supply depends on each other. So in microeconomics, we study the demand and supply. These are the variables which affects the market basically. On the other hand, in macroeconomics, here also the same thing, but aggregated, or you can say in simple word, total demand, total supply. What do you mean by total demand and total supply? In Bihar, suppose the demand of potato is high. In Rajasthan, the demand of potato is low. But when we are talking about macroeconomics, we are considering whole economy. What is the demand of potato in whole country? So it includes in macroeconomic. Are you all clear? Now same for the total supply. What is the total supply of potato in whole country? what is the total supply of a potato in whole country, which includes in macroeconomics. Now the next point is here, theory. So microeconomics is also known as price theory. Microeconomics is also known as a price theory. Why it is also known as a price theory? Because in market we are deciding a price of a particular product by keeping in mind the demand of that particular product. As I said earlier that the demand of a potato, when the price is 25 rupees per kg, the demand is 50 people are willing to buy that potato. But on the other hand, when the price is 50 rupees, people will be more diverted to the other vegetables because of the price. So here the meaning is clear why it is known as price theory, because the price is decided by keeping in mind the supply of that particular product or the price of that particular product. On the other hand, macroeconomics is known as income theory. Macroeconomics is also known as the income theory because we are more focused on by implementing the production resources, or you can say the resources. By implementing resources, we are trying to generate a income for an state, or you can say for whole country, by implementing resources accurately. So what we can do, we can generate more employment opportunities. Indirectly we are helping our infrastructure to be developed. Indirectly we are developing our country. So with the income theory, we can say that we are developing our nation by using or by allocating resources accurately. So have you ever heard the name GDP? Gross domestic product, national income, employment, price level, all these things, price level, GDP, national income, employment, all these things and all studies of all these things included in the macroeconomics. In macroeconomics, we are generally studying about the price level of a particular product in the country, what is the GDP of a country, what is the national income of a company, what are the crises, what are the situation of an employment, whether the country is having employment opportunities for their citizens or not. All these things includes in the macroeconomics. On the other hand, we only studied about the demand, supply and the individual behavior in microeconomics. So I hope all of you are clear with this topic. Now if you are having any doubt, you can ask me by commenting in the comment box. Thank you all. See you in the next class.